Hey Rachel, Lee Williams with Milo. Listen, I'm looking at your Module 1 self-reflection. I have to first of all say, great work, but more importantly, thank you for being so transparent and really speaking a lot of truth, from the very beginning, first line, racial identity, white privilege. And then from there, you go to talk about your schooling and how, you saw a divide sort of within the public school, and we continue to see that around privilege, and then also economics, and then your understanding, your talk about within your family, being white, having a conversation about the bootstraps and not seeing necessarily as much Latinx representation in your home. It was just refreshing, I would say, to have someone just really be open and transparent and very honest about what happened. It's apparent that you are living within which many of us have as excuse me. See, this is real stuff right here. That you're living it's apparent to me that you're living in this situation where you are a product directly of the environment from your educational system, and then how you engage in as a teacher, even thinking about TFA, and you're hearing that was the first time that you've actually find out the word for opportunity gap and for achievement gap, and what I like to call it is a well-endowed paid situation needs to be paid back to a community, right? So well-owed situation needs to be paid back. It is educational malpractice that we have been continuing to do. And so as I look through and I see you're working on yourself and your kind of personal story, you spend a lot of time sort of mentioning the idea or this situation where you had not built relationships with students or needing to build more relationships with students. And so I often wonder when we look at that, is that then the direct correlation to these quote unquote chase test scores that we want, right? We often know that if there's a book by Dr. Akbar, To Know Thyself, and he talks about if we don't know who we are or know the students that we are then teaching, then we cannot expect or get anything great from them because we don't know where to tap in and where to touch and where to pull from. We're just sort of grabbing and reaching, and we have no idea how to get to the real heart and meat from that beautiful mind that we're trying to serve. And so I guess the question that I may pose is, how do we continue to build these relationships with our students that are authentic, that are genuine, that are full of conversations around race, when there is now in this country a distrust of white American people of color? It's always been there, but now it's been I would say even more in the face of a country because of the recordings and things that we've been seeing. But for a black community, a black and brown community, we have always somewhat had a distrust, especially for the educational system, because it was not designed for us. It was not created with us in mind. And so thinking about what you said about building and really trying to understand and know your students, really trying to build that relationship, which will then build a bridge to higher learning and a better relationship in your classroom. How do we go about doing that and honestly addressing the issues and giving students a space? Do students even want the relationship anymore? Do students really want to be engaged with teachers? Or are students looking for something completely different? I've been struggling with this thought a little bit because we keep saying we got to build relationships with our kids, our students. And I've often wondered, do students really want the relationship anymore? Are students tired of this relationship because it feels so one-sided? Either way it goes. Just some thoughts. Curious to your thoughts. I'd like to engage in this conversation with you a little bit more. So if you're interested, we can set up some time, just have a phone call and a conversation just to kind of unpack and talk through this and just engage in some good dialogue. I would love that. All right. Listen, I look forward to seeing you soon. Peace.